Hi and welcome to this series on the basics of how to paint with acrylics. In this video we will learn to blend two colors, which is the sap green and titanium white. I'm going to be using an acrylic sheet which is about 450 GSM. So the first step is to pin the sheet to this cutting board that I have. You can use any board that you want. Why I also use this masking tape around is because I really don't want this acrylic paint to come on top of my cutting board. I've already damaged one wherein it's full of paint, and I kind of prefer it to be pretty neat. So the first step is to take a blob of the sap green. I'm adding it towards the top, and then I'm going to add a little bit of titanium white to the bottom. So I want you to observe the way that I use my brush stroke, because that's the most important thing when it comes to blending. So I'm going to be using a flat brush. You could use anything which is big. Don't use a very small one because it takes a lot of time then to blend it and to mix it. And this size of paper that I'm using is A6, so it's really small, and even for something this small I'm using a big size of brush. So I've kept it pretty vertical and I'm just going left and right in swift motion. Don't be too slow, and it's best to stick to one direction. Don't change it too much, and you will notice that when the blending happens, the way that your brush strokes go, your art will showcase that. Like for example, over here I'm not going complete 90-degree left to right. It's going a little bit up towards the right hand side, which is why you can see it in the final piece in the strokes. Like you can see how my strokes are a little bent towards the bottom. So there is a little bit of green that is seen through on top, that is, you can see the canvas through that. So it's because there has been less green on the top, and it's the consistency of the color. Sometimes they could be a little thick, sometimes they could be a little thin. So I'm going to add another blob of green on top. So before that I'm just blending the color and making sure that there is nothing which has moved off to the edge. So sometimes it will happen where a big blob moves off to one corner and it just stays over there. So I'm going to add a small blob, and then we will try to blend that in as well. If you're going to add another blob of color, make sure that your base has not completely dried off, and if it has completely dried off, then you may need to add a little bit of white more below it so that they can all blend in with each other. So you have to be a little quick when you're doing these kind of blends. I'm in fact going a little slow in the video because I want you guys to see what I'm doing. Normally if I'm painting, I would be a little bit faster than this speed. That's also because of years of practice. So if you're a beginner, then just try out however you can. Just go slow, use an even smaller piece if you want to, and don't use a very small flat brush. So now it's time to remove the masking tape and see how this looks. I like this masking tape a lot because it does not damage my painting too much. It does not remove the fiber of my papers as well. So I really like this particular one. I will, if you want to get the same thing, then leave a comment below and I will leave the link to it. I will see you for the next video of acrylics next Thursday. So every Thursday I'm going to be putting up a new video on how to paint with acrylics. See you.